everybody out there. I am your host, Jessica Koch, and this is Profound Professionals. It is an interview series that has been coming to you for 10 years now. You guys so have our hearts. We are so grateful that you're watching, sharing, commenting, liking, and putting our people out into the world. We bring you some great people, over 1,000 guests from all over the world. They help you improve your personal life. They help you grow your business. They give you all kinds of amazing tips and share amazing books and programs with you. Today we have two very exciting people. Hannah's out of Australia, so she's already at tomorrow. We've discussed she's from the future. Hannah is a human integration facilitator. She is the CEO of The Jungle. I mean, don't you want to talk to anybody that's the CEO of The Jungle? I think this is someone you want to talk to. She's a former professional Muay Thai fighter who helps founders and leaders close the internal leaks, quietly capping their business and their relationships and their health. You don't want that sucking and leaking and dripping from you. You want to be full of all that good stuff. You want to keep everything going. And Hannah is going to talk to us about how. So welcome, Hannah.
Thank you very much.
We also have the very handsome, the very serious. We're going to get him to smile. Don't worry. I won't let him off the hook. Asim, and he is a solutions architect on a mission to help anxious professionals move from fragility to freedom. Freedom sounds so stretchy and good. By architecting their own resilient personal operating systems. So you need some extra bouncy. It's never going to fail you. Some resilient operating systems and systemsofthebomb.com. I would not survive as the Italian mother of 7 without systems and processes and outsourcing and AI. I'm loving the AI of the world of it all. So welcome, Asim.
Thank you. Thank you, Jessica, for the wonderful introduction.
You're welcome. This is going to be fun. That's why we're here. We are here to have a bit of fun. So have a bit of fun with us. A comment, like, and share. You just never know who you know that just might need to hear this. Hannah, we are women. Hear us roar. We are going to let Asim go first, in contradiction to ladies first theory. As much of a gentleman as he is, I am certain. I would love to hear, Asim, a little bit of your journey and story, and how you became down this path to help people solve these challenges.
Yeah, so I'll be the lady of the moment here. I'll go first.
With the beautiful ladies of the moment, right? So there you go.
And that fits in, like you introduced the book you see on my shelf back there. So that's the book I published back in 2025. And it arrived on Christmas Eve, and that was a surprise gift for my family. When they opened the gift, they saw my author copy of that book, Unblocked. It's called The Power of Real Intelligence in the Era of AI That You Love Now, you said. And it all started back in 2000s, 2002, the dot-com crash, where I was indispensable, invincible, or you name it, with the top credentials, flying high, and coming into a dot-com crash, where all my colleagues, much better than me, were getting laid off left and right. Every Monday, they will walk out with a pink slip. And that's when I felt my first round of insecurity that, hey, with all these credentials, all these top-notch degrees, anything can happen. So I felt fragile, right? That's where the word fragility came in my life, is you're one paycheck, you're one industry, you're one skill set away, and then anything can happen in this market. So then I dove into financial markets as my greener pastures, right? Okay, this might not work, so I need to come up with some backup plan. What is my fail safe is going to be? So financial markets was it, where I thought, okay, yeah, this is my road to retirement. So, and so came 2008. That was my second round of insecurity. And believe it or not, at that time, I was in the middle of a full-time, very rigorous MBA for executive programs, trying to switch into the financial industry. And 2009, when I finally graduated, I said, no, I think my greener pastures are going to be right where I am. I found my acres of diamonds. I said,
Mm,
but I would continue that journey. So I
mm,
became a lifelong student of the financial markets. So now, as of last year, this AI, the third time round, came in, and I have not seen. This one came as a quite surprise, where even the most secure jobs were getting away, and
mhm.
I have friends, near and dear friends, getting laid off, and that's when I said, okay, now, and of this, like, I cannot take this anymore. So that's when I started putting my book together, which I had actually started back in COVID time, which was 2020.
So what kind of
Uh,
clients are you working with? So is it
yes,
companies? Is it individuals? Is it executives of past companies? What's the
right.
main
So
client?
currently, my journey has been the company that I run is called Avigna. It's it means remover of obstacles, and we are, so that's where I come up with my solution architecture, right? So that's
Mm,
how I find solutions for people. But my primary clientele had been like Fortune 500, large enterprises and government, and now I'm trying to move into more B2C for individuals like me, who were like 20 years ago,
executive
that are
leaders transitioning.
walking the same anxiety that I went through.
I know someone to connect you to too. He's used to work, used to do some leadership training, scheduling and organizing for Microsoft's leaders. And he's in this career space, but I think you guys will help each other immensely. Because of him, I got to do a really cool leadership training for about 40 of Microsoft's leadership executives on
Yep.
6 intelligences, because I'm certified in some 6 intelligences that,
Right.
emotional intelligence and several others, right? But yeah,
Right.
that was a lot of fun. So I'll connect you with him. We want to hear a little bit from Hannah also about her story and her journey and how she came to be the CEO of. I got to hear about the jungle. So
Yeah. So my story actually began, I loved business as a 12-year-old, and I always was going to do that. ADHD, autism, self-medicated, drug addict for 10 years, from like 15 to 25. But I was like functional, running businesses. I was like doing Muay Thai. I was doing martial arts. I was doing all of this stuff. I gave it up. I got myself clean, and I still had my marketing company, and I went full on into professional fighting. And at some point in that, I was like, okay, well, now I want a recovery center because I want my own cryotherapy. Like I was running ultra marathons and fighting the week after and running my company. All of this stuff looked really good on paper and on Instagram, to be honest. But my relationships were failing, and my health was actually, although I had a six-pack, wasn't actually that great on the inside. So I started this center really so I could have my own recovery equipment. And not long after that, I kind of had to make a choice of like, well, am I gonna run this business that I've dumped a whole bunch of money into, or am I gonna punch people in the face for a living? And so I gave up the fighting, I gave up the marketing business, and I went full in on this business.
Wow.
And inside of that, I had been trained in psychotherapy. I'd been doing lots and lots of healing work, and I was doing that work so I could be a better fighter, so I could lose weight easier, because it was a weight making sport, so I could have more in my life. And at some point I realized, like, oh, hang on, I'm actually creating more of the problem. I'm allowing people to use cold and hot and all of this stuff to feel better in the moment, but the underlying things underneath are still a problem. So you take away the stuff that makes you feel good, and then all of the patterns still keep coming out. And so I went really deep on myself. I had to retrain myself in food and look at anti-inflammatory food. All of the dietitians and doctors and everyone I went to kept making me sicker and more inflamed. So I went deep into research around that. And a few years ago, I met a guy, and we developed our own modality together. And we've split off and done our own thing now, which is really, really cool. which kind of blends all of the cool modalities that are out there in the world, without the projection, the pathologizing, the coaching, the telling you what to do and what's wrong with you, and going deep into the somatic where all of the patterns are. And as I started doing this work, all of those issues went away. So my health I've never been healthier in my life. I've never had more energy in my life. I've got the best relationship I didn't know like was possible to even have in my life, making more money than I've ever had in my life. And it's like, okay, well, now we can have everything. And it's by undoing these patterns and bringing back together the fragmented parts of yourself, that one's fighting this way and one's fighting that way, while also taking care of the physical health and also taking care of the spiritual health, as an integrated human. So as I developed that into a program, the recovery jungle was the initial variation of my business. And it was called the recovery jungle because I would take myself to the jungle after a year of fighting. And that was my healing place. And we just rebranded to just the jungle because it's become so much more than recovery.
Because everybody needs this. I'm, just because I'm not abusing a particular substance doesn't mean I also don't all the time use the right tools when I'm facing a bad day or whatever. I might use shop therapy. I might binge watch a little too much TV. I might, have ice cream where I might have skipped it if it was the day. Like there's all the things. No, I don't think anyone's perfect. Even though it may not be a specific challenge that you would typically go to a treatment center for. I think what you're offering sounds like everybody wants and needs it, right?
Well, it's exactly that. And the CEO, I feel, is exactly the same as the drug addict. It's just one's using work to escape and one using the substance to escape.
Yeah, there's a workaholic too. Yeah, everybody has their way of dealing with it. And some are really healthy ways. I mean, sometimes I do just go kayaking, take a walk in nature, do a dance and dance it out. That's one of my favorite things from Grey's Anatomy is dance it out. Or just have a talk with someone I love or journal, so sometimes I do the totally healthy way. But I think we all have something that we do that we could improve it. And
I think it's less about also the things that you're doing wrong and how much more can you have? How deeper can your relationship get? How much more intimacy can you have? How much more love can you allow into your heart? How much more can you expand your capacity? How much more can you have?
Well, and in my opinion, it's endless. I'm very blessed to be in probably, if I described it to you, one of the best love stories and relationships for 27 years that you ever did hear. And I do have this gift and ability and a really great spiritual relationship where I've tapped into manifestation and visualization and just feeling a moment in time of such peace that I actually felt connected to past, present, and future at a few moments of this amazing, intense, thrilling experience. So I feel very blessed. I've done lots of work on myself too, though, and done, and put a lot of time in research and studying and, but everybody has this ability to live whatever life they choose to create. We are, in my opinion, we are created by a creator. So, and I have great respect for all religions and thoughts and beliefs. That's the other thing. I believe we're all this source of energy connected, and we have this amazing gift to have our own viewpoint and our own opinion and our own thought and our own way of finding that spiritual connection or journey, however that looks, whether it's, with a tree or in a church, whatever it is, right? Whatever it is, because I have a spiritual moment whenever I'm near the ocean. I am just intense with that. So your clients are really, is it just anyone? Is it, are you working with high level executives a lot, or anyone who feels this pull and this call to live a better life?
It is everyone. I love working with leaders because I love business, and I love working at an executive level because the change we can make is so big. But absolutely, it is everyone that can benefit from this.
That feels the call, that feels this call.
Yeah.
I want to go back to Asim and talk about a tip that you can give us. And we were talking with you. I love that Hannah kind of covers the whole person, and you're in the space also protecting their when you're, I feel like this. I feel like when our individual or inside or personal person improves, our business life improves, whatever that is, career or whatever. And then when our business life, if we focus on our business life or our career improves, then all of a sudden we have this motivation to go for a run or eat healthier. You know, I really believe, as Hannah mentioned, we're this integrated full self, and one helps the other, which is why I did Profound Professionals the way I do with experts, because I think they're so connected. And here you are helping people on their journey, maintaining their value and their identity of who they are. When you are in a position where you were indispensable, and the letters and credentials and the knowledge behind your name now can be done by a machine, a computer, or you have been replaced in some way,
Right.
you lose a lot. Even I've seen this with a little bit with women, but more with men from my own personal experience. That doesn't mean that that's true. It could be equal for both, just from my perception, that when someone retires, even sometimes they lose their identity, because they were what they did and that was what they knew. And so that's such a challenge. And so you're stepping in to really help save them to come to terms with they have value as a human being independently of what they were doing, in addition to helping them find their new, what sings to them, what makes their heart sing, what's their passion, so that they can reinvent themselves to again add value however they choose while they're on this planet. Am I off the mark here, Asim?
Oh no, this is just a fantastic conversation from what Hannah was talking and what you added on top. It's like cake layering right now. So I'll try to put some whipped cream on it if
I like cake.
So,
Hannah's gonna have us eating healthier in a minute, but I like cake.
yeah. So when I took this mission on, the idea was like the what I call the anxious professionals. Like it's the anxiety with this new tech coming in, trying to scare away that what am I going to do? Like what I used to do. So I will lose my identity, right? So so the book that I wrote was about 3 steps, right? First is the alignment piece, and then the measurement piece and the execution piece. I'll touch upon the alignment, where in our large enterprises, we use these 3 pillars: people, process, and technology. I'm sure you're familiar with that, right? So that's the PPT, right? So the people tend to give more emphasis to technology, especially nowadays, and people and processes are on the get-go. So I tell them, a business is run on these 3 pillars. One of the pillars weakens, your business topples. So you want to make sure, don't chase technology, especially now. You cannot outwork the machine. So your best bet is going to be real intelligence, which is between people and processes they use. So you need to balance that tripod again and to move forward. And then on the execution side, I said you need to, in order to survive, you need to adapt. So you need to start rethinking work. Work doesn't mean just labor. And then intelligence, the logical intelligence, which I learned the hard way, or high IQ guy failing in doing terrible in the financial markets, where I say, okay, there is an EQ, and then there is all these gremlins that are coming out. So that was my hard lesson. So I tell them about rethinking work as not just work, it's willing to obtain real knowledge, WRK. So, and then my book is all acronym based. All the chapters are acronyms and expand on them. So that's where the journey is. And the personal resilience operating system part is energy, patience, discipline, and focus, which is the EPDF. Another tech term, Adobe can come and sue me. I don't really care about that, but that's what I came up with.
You
Is
heard him.
energy
Him,
efficient.
not me. You heard that, right? Him, not me. Well,
He
you
was on Jessica's show.
no, yeah, right. See, what are you trying to do to me here? So what I like to remind people is, especially the software developers and all these people who have this mind that are worried that they're getting chased out by the AI bot and the robot. To design an agent, you need to have the mind of the map, right? So there is no AI, without the proper prompts. So you need a plan still. So your business could be more efficient if you had these 15 AI things happening and these agents built, but the AI doesn't know without the right prompts which one's going to make the most sense to do first. What's the plan? What's the map? How do we map it out? Now, it can help you establish all of that, but you have to have the human mind first and input correct prompts.
You have the live example in front of you.
Mhm.
So technically, I'm like a network and a security architect, not a
Mhm.
programmer. I hated programming, right? So I used AI, the vibe coding last year to basically convert my book into a coaching app.
Mhm.
And to your point on prompting, so that's the example I tell people. If I can do it, anybody can do it, because
Mhm.
I was not a programmer. I used to just run away. So uh, those days are gone. But now you need to align and adapt. That's what the rethinking of work is, and that's how I set up the example. The coaching app is ready live on my website. They can
That's
go
very
do
cool.
that ePDF assessment on there. It's done on AI by me, a non-programmer guy.
I love that. And it's funny because when AI first came, I tend to jump and teach things. And Hannah, you're coming up with a tip. So make sure you have a good one. We're coming to you for a tip. But I have to share this. When AI first came, I mean, learning. I'm always teaching, right? And people have me come and speak. And so I was learning and learning everything as fast as I could. And I learned how to build a GPT, and I taught a couple of classes. And then on some time passed, sometimes I learn things just to teach it. I mean, this is a true story, right? And I customize it for the group and whatever, and then I move on to my brain has to make space for the next thing. And so I was talking to ChatGPT and I said, I need to make this custom GPT, but I forgot how to do it. Could you just make it for me? And at this point, it's so advanced that it built it for me. It created a logo, it uploaded it to itself, and it showed up, and I just use it now. Oh, like, here's the GPT I have in mind. Could you just build that, add it, and upload it for me on and it's my private one. It's one I just use for a task that I don't like to have to deal with, and it does it. But I couldn't even teach you at the moment without refreshing my mind of how to build it, because I just tell it to do it itself now, and it builds itself.
You have to remember, what did I tell you last time? So that's what it is.
And sometimes I do yell at it. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. I'm supposed to save that to my memory. I'm like, yeah, I told you last time.
hmm
It's the only team member that I can sometimes be rude to and not feel too bad about, but I still say, please. We are so programmed. I'm so like, please do this for me. It says, sure. So
Well,
anyway,
that's where the real intelligence is. We are empathetic people. So humans are.
yeah.
And I think they're trained to do that. You will never see a LLM talk back rudely to you.
No, well, actually,
So
I have a friend who trained one to, they're rude back to each other, and it makes her laugh. So,
what's the personal choice? One on one. It's for the one-on-ones.
yeah, but I do ask it to encourage me sometimes. I tell it, I'm all right, I'm having a rough day. What are we doing here? I need, cheer me on. Is this stuff possible? Here's what I want to do. Don't worry, Jessica. It's all possible. We'll break down a plan for you. I got my own personal cheerleader. So, Hannah, we need a tip so that we can integrate all of ourselves and find happiness. I love this new life that you've stepped into for yourself. I'm excited for you.
Yeah. Well, look, I think on the theme of what you guys are talking about around change and identity loss, there's a grief in that, and there's a fear in stepping into change. And I think, there's two things that I want to say. Is the first thing is, like, change is supposed to feel really difficult. It's supposed to make your nervous system panic because it's a new thing and it likes to stay the same. So when you're going to do something,
who designed this? I'm going to have a conversation when I'm upstairs, because really we should be afraid of stagnant. Not stagnant water is unhealthy for us. Anything that is not changing. I mean, if we're not moving and changing, we might not be here. We might not be breathing. Like that. Change is constant, and it must be. We should be celebrating it. It should be the total opposite. I don't get it, Hannah.
It's an efficiency system. So the brain likes to be efficient, and the same thing that it's already created is efficient. So when you want to create new pathways and a new way of existing and a new, like, it has to do all of this work, and it doesn't want to do all of that work. We're created to be as efficient as possible. And so in understanding that, in that it's supposed to feel really uncomfortable, your nervous system will go, oh, especially if you haven't had to do a lot of change. Like, you, even though I love change and I push myself into it all the time, I still get a panic. I still am like, so I think the tip is like, well, if you're about to go and do something new and you feel that panic, it's probably the right thing to do. If it's a little bit of excitement and you felt in your body, like, take some time to feel what sensations are actually happening in your body. And does it feel like anxiety, or does it feel like excitement? Is there a sadness in your heart? Does something in your gut tense up? What is that actually trying to say to you? And be with those sensations. It's an embodying experience to come out of your head in the crazy mind and back into the body, where there's far more truth. And it's when you can start to sit with that and be with that, it's not so uncomfortable, because you're no longer avoiding being with it.
It's the best advice ever. I've noticed in the years that I've done, well, actually, I've been doing it all my career, all my lifetime, but not more instinctively and more naturally than in the last few years. I give it, that's the first, that's my knee jerk. That's the first, this is where I start versus where my journey led me to make decisions based on feeling. I love it because I always know, and here's the other thing though. I'm a lucky because I was a Navy brat, and we moved constantly. I was somewhere else. Change was normal. Change, new location, new friends, I'm Jessica Lynn, and one year we moved and the teacher said, called my name, and oh, you're the new student. So yeah, and everyone can call me Lynn. And no one had ever called me Lynn, right? I thought I am in control here. I have a new, they don't know. I can say whatever I want to say. So I found it exciting, and I played with it a lot, and I loved meeting new places, and seeing new places and going and learning new things. And so now, even with my business, it's in a constant state of this metamorphosis, is what I feel like it is, where I'm checking in all the time. Okay, these programs, how do I feel about it? Where are we going with it? And this, and the company, are we doing this? And what's our direction? How do I feel about that now? And where am I supposed to go with it? And so I'm lucky to be doing very well with that, because I find it an enjoyable exercise to recheck in consistently with what's happening in my business and in my life.
Yeah.
So
I think there's a caveat to it as well, because sometimes we actually can't trust our body when there's lots of old stuff there. So, listening to it, if when you're coming to listen to it, it's panic, or I definitely shouldn't do it, is that an old story? Is that an old pattern? That can still be true, and we want to do that cleanup. But the first step of it is just to be with it in the first place and be a little curious about it. Is what is underneath this feeling? Is it about what's about to happen, or is it bringing up something that I've experienced over and over again? And if I've experienced this feeling a lot of times in my life, is this a pattern that just keeps repeating that I'm holding on to? and having some space and some curiosity about what is actually coming up here.
Yeah, that's interesting stuff. I am loving this. Okay. Well, one of the things we've always done from show number one, and one of the reasons I believe it makes us all so much more profound, is when we think about, care about, and do things outside of ourselves. So with all the greatness of Asim and Hannah and their amazing businesses and services and things you should do with them and meet them and talk to them and all that jazz, I am also very interested in a cause that is close to your heart. Asim, can you give us a nonprofit or a cause or a charity or something that has been close to your heart that you've supported?
Yeah, so the one I have to pick right now among many would be the one my wife is actively involved in. It's called
Good man.
Anasuda. Yes, and they basically do cooking for and provide food for homeless shelters in our county here in Loudoun County.
Tell
And
us
she
the name
volunteers
again.
It's ANNA-SUDHA.org. It's
Okay.
anasuda.org. So this is run out of Dulles Mall here, and so anybody's welcome to help the kitchen. Then they package food. People can buy food. So
Wow.
she's helping the cause. It's great, like feeding the homeless locally. At least we know. I've personally delivered when my son was in school. We used to go to that shelter to deliver food. so it's very connected. So
Is your wife a good cook?
and she's very good cook. She's a very good cook. So
And what kind of food? What is there a style food that she loves?
yeah, definitely like a lot of the Indian, North Indian food. And she can cook anything pretty much.
And so when am I coming over for dinner? Because I love Indian food.
Anytime, yeah. So you will not be disappointed for sure.
Oh no, I know. I
Yeah.
am definitely, and I have a high appreciation for some good Indian food. I have several friends from India. I have several people, or when I'm ready to go to India, I have several families, groups of families that I'll be traveling from one group of family to another from
Mhm.
my very close friends that are
So
here.
that comes from her mother, but she does soup and sandwiches. She would do
So the
Oriental
homeless
Asian
people, they
food.
can handle all these spices, or
Oh yeah, that's the question I asked. Do they all eat this? Like they say, yeah, they love chicken tikka masala, and so really, so wow, it's funny,
I love
but
that.
yeah, they
Good for
come
you.
and they
The seasonings and spices are so good for your body.
yeah,
I think
yep.
Hannah might know more about it than me. I
Good.
just know it's delicious.
It's the it's
We
the
might just live on steak.
metabolism.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Hannah, how about you? A cause close to your heart?
Well, I'm going to have to choose Willow Tree Sanctuary, which is a dog saving foster organization in Australia. It's where my dog came from. I lost one a few years ago, and the first thing I did was I'm going to foster one so my other one could have a friend, and they do absolutely incredible work. Any dog that needs saving, that needs a home, they bring them in, they get them fosters, they pay for everything, they give them all the food, all the medical bills. When there's the endless money there, I think that's where I'd throw it all. Is the dogs don't hurt anyone. You know, they're the most kindest souls in the world, so they should have all the support.
We had a cat adopt us. We've had many animals in our history of children, just a small zoo of all kinds, dogs, cats, hamsters. The list is so long, you will think it was a zoo. But right now we thought we were at a stage in our lives because we like to travel and we like to travel with our teenager. And so we're like, you know what, if you want to have a pet, you can have one when you're an adult. But a couple of years ago, this stray cat just adopted us. And do you know, she is the gentlest, sweetest, most loving, like from day one, slept right next to my face, you know, for the longest time. And she was
Without scratching.
No, she doesn't scratch the front. She's so well behaved. Day one, she used the box and she doesn't scratch a piece of furniture. She really hasn't done a single thing wrong. And she is so affectionate, and she now spreads her affection equally between my husband, me, and our 14-year-old. Well, she gives the 14-year-old maybe a little more love because she sleeps with her now, and they're like, my husband says they're siblings. He calls it, go get your sister, he says. And she thinks she's a dog, this cat. You take a hair tie, she will, a girl's hair tie for her ponytail, you throw it, she will play fetch with you for 20 minutes, bring it right back to you, throw it.
Oh, wow.
This was her idea. She brought it to us, and we're like, okay. And we thought, oh, she'd do it once or twice and be bored. She can do it for like 20 solid minutes. It's crazy. She's like a puppy. I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say she has some dog characteristics in there. Like cats are really different.
Really does. And she
because my daughter has one. She
Yeah.
took one cat from the foster side, and she said, "We are grandparents." That's what I think she says.
She's really a wonderful cat, and I don't take this wrong, Hannah. All the pets we've had over all the years, I love people who love dogs, and I love the dogs well enough, but I'm just not, I've never been much of a pet person. I mean, they shed, no matter how clean you wash them, they still smell, and when they're wet, they still smell like wet dog. I mean, they're all right. They're, I wasn't mean to them. I would pet them, but they would hang out with the rest of the family more. It's not my thing. I was never going after I love people who love animals. Okay. And, but this cat my husband said, I don't even know who you are. You've changed your, I said, it was this cat's mission in life to make me an animal person, I guess.
Yeah.
You needed one.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, and I had an emergency surgery, and I have to tell you, she did not leave my side the weeks I had to be on bed rest to heal. She wouldn't.
They soak it up.
No, and matter of fact, my husband even had to help me walk to the restroom and things, and she would follow, and then she would sit and guard outside the restroom until I was done, and then she would follow. I'm like, she would not leave my side. So it was. Pets are pretty amazing. You're right. I'm wrong. All right, moving on. That's the one time this year you heard it on live streaming. I was wrong. Ask my husband the rest of the year. I'm going to be right. So now we're going to talk about books that inspired your personal life or helped you grow your business. I am a book fanatic. I love trees too, but I really love a feel of a book in my hands. I love listening to an audiobook. I'm not a big fan of reading a book off of a tablet or a computer or device. I just need less devices in my life and less energy from the devices. But boy, do I love a book. And I plant a tree, so don't scold me. And I do a lot of secondhand books and things, and libraries and things like that. So I'm not killing too many trees. But tell me a book that inspired your personal life, Asim, or helped you grow your business. And besides Who Moved My Cheese, right, Hannah? We've been talking about change.
Yeah. For me, it has to be Psycho-Cybernetics by Dr. Maxwell Maltz.
That's
because
classic.
I actually, not just I read it, I have a updated version, and I bought it for my son, I bought it for my daughter, I bought it for my wife, separate copies, because I'm not giving mine. And that's where everything shifted. That's what I really needed, is especially I resonated. He's a plastic surgeon and doing mind work, right? And I was a technical guy coming out into the mindset world because my own gremlins were coming out. I was like, why me, right? And that's where when I got into psychological studies, that book resonated. I said, yes, this is the identity shifts. It's a self-image problem. And that's what I tell people. I say, okay, look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. That's where your biggest competition is. I don't believe in competition. I said, you are the competition.
Yeah.
And that's where you need to focus on your
I love
personal
talking
operating system.
Mirror. I actually have a mirror right here at my desk, and I talk to myself all the time, and I remind myself to smile and have good energy. It's right there. I know we're looking at ourselves, but it's not the same as the mirror. It's not the same.
Yeah.
Silva Mind Control. Have you read this one? You'd love the Silva Mind Control system.
Of course.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a really good one. I'm going to make this disclaimer and warning that if we lose power and have to do this again, guess what? The three of us can get back together again. We are having a very exciting lightning storm at the moment outside.
I was going to say that because we went through that already here.
Yeah,
it's
you
now.
sent it my way, but I just want to warn you. So if I go dark, don't think, well,
anything wet and dark, we say go to Maryland.
So we will just reschedule, but we'll leave all these people on the edge of their seats. But we will come back and do it again. So don't worry. You'll get your value for sure when hanging out with me. How about you, Hannah? Is there a book?
Yes.
There too?
So I think the one that saves me the most is The Dip. Seth Godin's The Dip.
Ooh.
In that it talks about that when you're having the dip, you may not quit. That is the worst time to quit. And you can only decide to quit when things are going well. So it's a strategic decision.
I love that.
And so I have it next to my bed. It's very thin. It takes a night to read. And every single time there's like a huge big dip. And I like it's business. You want to burn it to the ground about 500 times a year. It happens. And those moments where I have felt like I can't do it anymore, it's too hard, I'm not going to make it, I'm not good enough, like that little book. And it's like, doesn't matter, you're not allowed to quit in this moment. You can quit later. You can get to that if you really want to do it. You just have to get through this part first. When you're feeling good, then you can make that decision. And so I've never quit. So no matter how hard it's got, no matter how much I've struggled, no matter how much I've had to go through that fire before expansion where you could quit. Those are the moments that you could quit, and I've not let myself because of that book. And then the other side of it's always an expansion, and that saved me a lot of times.
That is awesome. That is awesome. I did this.
Can I add one line to this? Like on the psycho-cybernetics, one of the things that I remember, like when I do some workouts, right? It's like a mantra. If I'm a mistake maker, I'm a mistake breaker. That's what he used to teach, one of the things. So just I have it in my recursive loop in there. If I'm a mistake maker, I am the mistake breaker. So I'm going to get out of this thing. So
yeah, I used to train huge sales teams nationally for corporations in multiple locations, and we would come together virtually. And before it was a thing with the phone conferences, right? Teleconferences, because the companies weren't using Skype, and that was like the first one. So this was years and years ago. But anyway, I would tell them that if they were having an off day and they had made calls and they were getting a lot of no's in a row, so many no's in a row, to stop what they were doing and begin researching the people that they wanted to see, and then do several exercises, things like go out into the sunshine and stand in the superhero pose, and get themselves some good energy and some positive energy. Talk to a friend who would remind them of how great they were, call someone that say, Hannah, tell me 3 things you really like about me that I'm really good at. I need to hear 3 things I'm really good at, and then go back to the list and begin to call again. And then when they did get their first yes, they weren't allowed to hang up the phone until they needed to continue, because when you get that yes, there's an energy of yes that begins to pull. So I love that idea of the dip. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Okay. We're going to talk about Asim's book, and we kind of talked about it here and there, but why don't you go through it a bit more with us, and then Hannah has a program to share with us. So go ahead, Asim.
Okay, so the book is Unblocked. It's kind of people who are blocked in their thinking, especially in the business enterprise, like fear-based decision making, and that's where I come in and say, yeah, stop buying the fear. Stop being reactive, start responding, and then build a future. So from there on, so take a take a step back, right? And then have those three pillars,
Mhm.
balance your tripod, people, process, technology, and
Mhm.
then rethink work around that. So it's a business strategy book. So part of the measure part, we I talk about product, service, and profit. Again, all these words are acronyms. I expand those, and then the book talks about not just the corporate CEO. It talks about the individual solopreneur as a
I love
person,
that.
and
I love,
then it's Avigna, my company's methodology in there. The frameworks are basically my company's. That's why I say I am Avigna, because Avigna means remover of obstacles. So
that.
that's where I came up with the name. And then the execution part, there is a modernization. There is a framework, easier cloud, easier. I will expand for you. It's elastic, agile, secure, intelligent, economical, and risk reducer. These are all the business elements that needs to go into the infrastructure.
Mm.
And it came from the times cloud was emerging, not the cloud where you put your stuff today or where the rain comes from. Cloud means consumer leverage over usage demand. So it's
Mm.
like pay per use.
Oh.
So it that's the elastic nature. If I need uh, 10 units today and 100 tomorrow, I can easily click a button and get it. And then if I'm going on vacation, I can turn things off and don't have to pay for it. So
Mm.
that's the and the last piece I already touched upon work,
Mhm.
which is two parts: hard work and smart work. Hard
Mhm.
work is your happy attitude, rigor, and discipline. So
Mm.
that's how I define hard, not just labor. It's
Mm.
your attitude, and you have to be happily doing things wherever, whatever
Man,
you're doing. Otherwise, you will land up in the same crap again. So,
I'm glad you defined that because I'm sort of anti hard work. I don't believe work has to be hard. I believe it can be flow and easy
yeah,
and passive
yeah.
and joyful. And from my kayak, success is happening.
That's part of the rethinking of the work. The work doesn't need to be hard. It
Yeah,
has to
I
be
don't believe
done
that.
happily with an
Mm,
attitude.
that's what.
Rigor being, yes, you need to be, and discipline is your consistency right there. And it's
Mhm.
also in my EPDF, the discipline part. Then SMART is not the SMART goals one. It's
Mhm.
SMART is study, then you master what you study, then you
Mhm.
apply. Otherwise, it's useless, right?
Mhm.
Study, master, apply, then revise, and then track your progress. And it's a
Oh, and that
recursive loop.
T. Without that T, you are missing out, man. That
Yeah.
T is big. It's a
So,
capital T.
so especially in the age of AI, every week you're getting a
Start
GPT
track.
version out. You
Yeah.
need to be out there learning continuously.
Well, and with
So,
agents, even agents that have been designed and are running have to be tracked and monitored by a human being to make sure that they're still
yep.
connecting, that they're still communicating to all of the different facets that are involved and all the nodes are still working and all of this is happening. So that everyone thinks, oh yeah, we just build a robot and that's it. No,
Right. So
no.
with that, like the I in my easier model is the intelligence where
Mm-hmm.
we are dealing with AI with a black box problem. To your point,
Mm-hmm.
I just say do something and it does something in the back, and you have no clue what it's doing.
You gotta check on it, and you gotta
Right.
make sure that the tools inside of
So
that agent are still communicating because they can break interface.
yeah. So the
So,
where the human comes in is the governance part. So you
mhm.
have to govern it as a human, not let agent build an army of senseless
I love
robots,
how
right?
cool it is that you're building acronyms into your book and to your process that people can take action on. And Hannah has actually built a full modality for her program. So let's talk a little bit about you have I think it's a 3-month program. Well, let's talk about that, Hannah.
Yeah, well, it's called the resurrection on purpose. So it is a full resurrection of who you are, of your
Good timing
identity.
for that at the moment.
Isn't it? Isn't it what?
And
Yeah. And so it's very, very deep. There's three pillars of it. The most important part is very, very deep somatic work to undo the parts of you that are keeping you stuck in your health, in your relationships, in your business, in your money, in all of the different aspects of life. And it all intertwines together. So as we start to work on money as an example and being able to receive it, you can receive more love, your relationship gets better. A lot of the patterns that we have in life is really about receiving. Can we actually receive it into our hearts and reciprocate it back into the world? And all the patterns that have come from all of our life, that maybe there's fragmented parts. One part of you wants to do this thing, one part of you really doesn't. And that's energy draining because they're fighting each other. So it's an integration of all of the developmental needs, masculine and feminine energies into one entire whole human, while also changing your food so that supports the emotional body, so that it supports the nervous system, while also taking care of your physical body and getting you to build strength, because that digests trauma, it digests toxins. And as we have a strong body, we can live a really long time. It helps us to be stable. It gives us foundational strength. You put all that together and we start to develop superhumans that can have incredible businesses while having incredible relationships with very deep intimacy, with incredible energy and health and sleep and all the things we've ever dreamed of. And I've said for my whole life, like, we can do all the things, and everyone said, no, you can't. And it's possible. It's absolutely possible once all of this sludge underneath has been cleared out and you open up your capacity.
Yeah.
I think the one place I need to change things for me is a healthier relationship with food. You know, about 70% of the time I do really well. And then I have my moments, but so many other parts of my life are just so fantastic and so joyful. I still really love me. I just, would like to be a tiny bit less curvy version of me. And my husband adores me, so that's always good. But
food's really interesting and body's really
You got
interesting.
a great smile, Jessica.
thank you.
Yeah. There's a few things that play into it. Often eating when you're not necessarily hungry is, what am I actually hungry
all the
for?
time.
I want connection. I need time out. There's something that I'm craving.
Time out. I do it for time out all the time.
Yeah.
But sometimes I just snack on blueberries or whatever, but I'm really not hungry. Yeah. And I was doing the intermittent fasting for it. We'll have to talk offline for all of this. We're turning the show into how to fix Jessica. I don't know how many people want to tune into that show. Oh my goodness. I don't know about you guys, but the time has flown and I've had so much fun. I feel like you're both doing big and powerful and wonderful things in the world. I don't want to tempt fate. I was going to ask you about your thoughts on legacy or gratitude. You're welcome to do that briefly, both of you, but also anything you didn't feel like you got to share about yourself or your business. I'd like to get that, and then we'll end with both of you giving us a closing thought. So, Asim, is there anything else about you or your business that you didn't get to share, or any thoughts and comments on legacy or gratitude?
Yeah, so from a business to B2 consumer side, I'm just getting started. I'm getting warmed up and I'm lined up. So I mentioned about my training. The coaching gap is in there, and then there is a coaching program behind it. If people want to, if they resonate with the book and the material, they can have a one-on-one with me down the road.
That on your website, a calendar link for them to reach you?
Yes, it's in there.
Very good.
And then the message on that is, what I'm trying to is, I wrote this book I was talking to a 32-year-old myself, and there are people out there who are going to be like me, whether they're 100,000 or 1 million, doesn't matter. That's where I got unblocked, and I got out of my shell and then published this book, and I'm trying to put this out. Coming from a highly introverted guy to trying to be an ambivert. I won't say extreme, but and the message for me is to everyone who is going through this anxiety phase is, you are the solution architect of your life.
That's right.
You can build it right. You do not go look outside, look inside.
I love that. And it's so funny. You guys are doing really great work, so unique and differently without competition. And yet you are helping shine that light of living the best versions of our lives. So Hannah, how about you? Anything else about yourself or your business that you'd like to share, or any thoughts on legacy or gratitude you want to share before we do closing thoughts?
Yeah, there's something that I really want to put some words to, is the reason that we're doing so well at what we do is some words around transference and countertransference. And I wrote a couple of articles about it over the last couple of months, in that, like, what actually happens if we taught leaders what transference and countertransference is. And as a leader of a business, as an owner of a business, understanding this stuff, not just for yourself, but how this is playing out in your teams and how this is playing out through your business, and all of the personal human stuff that's getting thrown around all over the place. Understanding that fundamentally changes how you lead, how the humans inside of your business go home every day. And I feel like that actually changes culture and changes the world. So if it's not for you doing this work, at least it's for the business that you're running. And I think that's really important.
It's fascinating, the things that you're talking about. I'm listening to the audiobook, and I just purchased the physical book. It's actually right here with me. Sean Covey is one of the authors. There's about 3 authors. The 4 Disciplines of Execution. When you first start to listen to it, you'll be like, what is she talking about? But if you think about what they're doing in perspective to how you want to help these teams and how it can be integrated, and the way they're scaling it, it's like adding Miracle Grow to what you're doing. How about that?
All right.
And then another book that you'll like is by Jim Stengel. He was the past global marketing executive of Procter & Gamble, and he wrote a book called Grow. And him and a couple of college students did a study on globally the top 50 companies in the world and why they were such, and learning about the different cultures that they created within their organizations. I think you'll find really fascinating, and a great tool of conversation with your clients and what you're doing and the work that you're putting out there in the world. So yeah, those were pretty cool. Well, we are at that point. And if you're out there thinking, well, wait, I've written a book, I could help someone improve their personal life or grow their business, I'm a profound professional doing great things in the world, well, reach out to us and our team, and we'll tell you just how to get on the show. But before we totally close and say goodbye for the night, I'm going to get these 2 to give us one final thought as we go, some information or inspiration, and we're going to close out for today. Asim, what do you have for us? Give us a closing thought. You gave us a pretty good one a few minutes ago, but I'm tapping you for one last one. What else do you got? I'm squeezing it out of you. What else do you got?
Well, you need to be willing to obtain real knowledge, rethink work, and your future is in your own hands.
That's right. I love it. That's a good one. That's a good one. How about you, Hannah? Final thought.
The only thing in your way is you.
That's right. That's right. And sometimes discovering just why are we in the way is enough to move it, just to nudge it over. Yeah. Honor those feelings, honor that energy, and then release it. And away we go, creating and living lives that leave a legacy for so many others. I believe legacy is created right this moment. And also to inspire and leave generational wealth for hundreds of years to come for our communities and our families. So share your knowledge now and leave a legacy that could last forever. I'm your host, Jessica Koch. This has been another Profound Professionals. And until next time, be kind to yourself out there and be kind to each other. Bye, everybody.